The Lord's mercy fills the earth. What moves or motivates me to talk to you about mercy is my personal experience. At a precise moment in my life, I experienced this fount of mercy was poured out for me and in me. It happened through the prayer Jesus taught Saint Faustina. O blood and water which gushed forth from the heart of Christ, as a fount of mercy for us, I trust in you. At that moment, I experienced that this fount was poured out for me and in me. And this inspires me to tell you about mercy because it was not poured out for me and in me alone, but for you and in you. This fount was poured out for all those who wish to draw near to His divine mercy. This experience of mercy is renewed throughout a person's life. Every day is a new experience of His mercy. He wants to continue pouring Himself out into the soul that approaches Him with trust. Just a few days ago, on Good Friday, we contemplated the Lord's pierced heart. A fount of water and blood gushed forth from this heart. This fount is a fount of love and mercy. The Church Fathers say that if others drink from this fount, are you not going to draw near too? Perhaps a temptation that many of us may have is to think, this fount did gush forth, but not for me. Well, that is a huge lie. This fount of mercy gushed forth for you, for all those who wish to approach it, to wash themselves in it and to be nourished by it. Get close to it, draw near to drink from this fount. When Jesus, after the resurrection, appears to the apostles, He shows them His glorious wounds. For the apostles, it was a source of great joy. Well, we can experience the same joy when we contemplate Jesus' wounds, especially the wound in His side, from where this fount springs. If our joy is great when we contemplate these glorious wounds, and this wound in Jesus' side, how much greater is God's joy when a sinner repents and comes back to Him? We can see this in the Gospels, in the parables that speak about mercy. The parable of the prodigal son, also known as the parable of the merciful father. The parable of the lost sheep. In all of these parables, Jesus speaks to us about the joy in heaven when a sinner repents. In the 20th century, Jesus wanted to remind us of this mercy of His. He did so through Saint Faustina Kowalska, a Polish saint, who would later be known as the Apostle of Mercy. Among the many revelations she received in which the Lord spoke to her about His great mercy, the Lord also asked her for a feast of His mercy. Later, this feast would be celebrated on the second Sunday of Easter. The Lord Himself dictated a novena and a chaplet of the Divine Mercy. This devotion is a devotion for the end times. We have no certainty as to when those end times will be, or if we are living them presently, yet the superabundance of evil in our times certainly makes us think that we are not far. Yes, we can know that this moment I live now, for me, is part of my end time. As long as we live, it is time of mercy. Later justice will come, and each person will be judged according to the way he or she lived. We must take advantage of this time of mercy. The Lord Himself said to Saint Faustina, "Speak to the world about my mercy." He also says that this time is a time of mercy. Justice will come later. While He speaks of turning to His mercy, He also insists that we should not doubt it. He insists that we trust in His mercy. For Him, the soul who trusts in His mercy are like a great comfort to Him, and He wants to pour the treasures of His grace upon them. This encourages and invites us to be one of them, a soul that trusts in His mercy. The Lord says, "The soul that trusts in my mercy is the happiest," that He delights in it, and it will not be disappointed or brought to shame. He also offers us a vessel that we can receive this mercy through. It is the image with the signature, "Jesus, I trust in you." This prayer, this short prayer, must always be on our lips and in our heart. "Jesus, I trust in you." Jesus wants to hear it. He wants to hear this exclamation of our trust in Him. This exclamation, "Jesus, I trust in you," is the faith that becomes trust. Speaking about the feast of His divine mercy, He makes a promise. He says that the soul that goes to confession and receives communion on the feast of His mercy will obtain complete forgiveness of sins and punishment. He says to not be afraid to approach Him. With this thought, let us go back to the beginning of what we said. All souls can approach the fount of His mercy. Do not exclude yourself from the number of souls who wish to draw near to Him. Be one of them. Place yourself in the fount of His mercy. But now is not the only time to approach His mercy. This time is every day of our life. We should not let one day pass without turning to Him to say, "Jesus, I trust in you." We should never let a single day go by without turning to Him in our heart to thank Him for His immense mercy. We have another pending task: to speak to the world about His mercy. Speak to those around you about the Lord's mercy so that they too may drink from this fount. Well, I hope that taking the hand of our Blessed Mother, the Mother of Mercy and Mediatrix of all graces, you approach this fount of mercy and say with all your heart and soul, "Jesus, I trust in you."